If you were a rising NFL athlete who had just signed a $1 million contract extension, would breaking the law be on your mind? Chances are probably not. You'd be rich beyond your wildest dreams and in a position to have pretty much anything you want handed to you. For some people though, even being an NFL player isn't enough. The player we're going to be talking about today on Football Lore is Sam Hurd, who is more criminal kingpin than Pro Bowl receiver. The wideout recently was released from prison on drug trafficking charges related to his position in the NFL. It's not every day we see a professional athlete throw it all away to recreate Breaking Bad, but every now and then it happens. It's an incredibly unique story, and whether positive or not, it's a part of football lore. Hurd never necessarily seemed like someone who was destined to go to the NFL. Before his senior year in high school, he had been considered a decent player. His only real standout performance came in his senior year, where he hauled in over 60 catches and 1,000 yards. Colleges weren't necessarily lining up to recruit him based on just his high school performance, but he was able to end up at North Illinois University, which had a solid football program, and one he would be allowed to shine at. Sam Hurd's college career at Northern Illinois University was indeed noteworthy, although it might not have been the kind of standout career that typically dominates national headlines. He wasn't the biggest star on the college football stage, but he definitely made his mark at NIU. At Northern Illinois, Hurd was a reliable and productive receiver. Over his 4-year tenure, he accumulated impressive stats that helped him stand out. He finished his college career with 143 receptions, ranking him 5th in school history at the time, for 2,322 yards, 4th in school history, and 21 touchdowns. His senior year was particularly strong. He led the team in receptions and was named a team captain, showcasing both his skill and leadership. While he might not have been a household name across the country, within the NIU Huskies program, Hurd certainly left a lasting impression. His consistent performance and solid numbers were enough to catch the attention of NFL scouts, leading to his eventual signing with the Dallas Cowboys as an undrafted free agent in 2006. So, Sam Hurd makes the leap to the big leagues as an undrafted free agent with the Dallas Cowboys in 2006. Now, going undrafted is kind of like showing up to a party uninvited. You've got to make a splash or you're just the guy holding up the wall. And Hurd? He wasn't about to be a wall decor. Despite not being a high-profile draft pick, he hustled his way onto the team, proving that hard work can sometimes beat the odds. Hurd's time with the Cowboys was like being a solid supporting actor in a Hollywood blockbuster. He wasn't the star, but the show wouldn't be the same without him. He carved out a role for himself, primarily as a special teams ace. Think of it as the football equivalent of being really good at all the stuff that doesn't get you in the highlight reel, but is super important. He was like the guy in a heist movie who's not cracking the safe, but is making sure the getaway car is running. On the receiving end, Hurd's stats were more modest than a monk's lifestyle. Over his tenure with the Cowboys, he snagged about 45 receptions for 630 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not exactly record-shattering, but respectable numbers for a player who also excelled in the less glamorous aspects of the game. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. Hurd's stint with the Cowboys wrapped up in 2010, and it wasn't because of any dramatic fall from grace or tabloid-worthy scandal. Nope. It was more of a business decision. The NFL's equivalent of, it's not you, it's me. The Cowboys just decided to go in a different direction, and Hurd, like an actor who's not called back for the sequel, had to find a new gig. So off he went to the Chicago Bears, ready to bring his special teams prowess and receiver skills to the Windy City. Picture Hurd as the new guy in town, ready to show the Windy City what he's got. The Bears, looking to bolster their receiving corps and special teams, saw Hurd as a valuable addition, sort of like finding a really good multi-tool that you didn't know you needed at a garage sale. Now, Hurd wasn't pulling down superstar numbers, but he was bagging a decent salary, especially for a guy known more for his hustle on special teams than his end zone celebrations. We're talking about a 3-year deal worth up to $5.15 million, including a $1.35 million sign-in bonus. In NFL terms, that's not couch change. It was the kind of paycheck that says, we like what you bring to the table. On the field, Hurd was doing his thing, contributing here, making plays there, the kind of solid but unspectacular performance that coaches appreciate but doesn't necessarily make you a household name. He was like that character actor you recognize in every movie but can't name. But off the field, unbeknownst to his teammates and the wider NFL community, Hurd was allegedly starting a side hustle that wasn't exactly legal. In fact, it was as far from legal as you can get. According to the feds, Hurd was beginning to dabble in a drug operation that could rival the plot of a crime thriller. This wasn't just some small-time deal. We're talking ambitions to distribute major quantities of cocaine and marijuana. The word on the street was that Hurd wanted to distribute up to 10 kilograms of cocaine and 1,000 pounds of marijuana per week. Those are numbers that would make even seasoned drug lords raise an eyebrow. So how did this double life unravel? It wasn't a fumble on the field, but at a steakhouse of all places. Picture a steakhouse, usually the scene of high-powered business deals or romantic dinners. But for Hurd, it was the setting of his downfall. In December 2011, after dining, Hurd walked out only to be greeted by federal agents, turning his steak dinner into a dine and bust. He was arrested outside the Chicago steakhouse, not for enjoying his steak too much, but for allegedly attempting to purchase a hefty amount of cocaine from an undercover agent. Now, let's talk about the nitty-gritty of his supposed operation. It's said that Hurd was trying to establish himself as a major player in the drug world. He wasn't looking to be a mere street-level dealer. Oh no. Hurd allegedly had his eyes set on becoming a kingpin. His method? He would reportedly receive the drugs in Chicago and then distribute them throughout the area. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill drug operation. It was ambitious, bold, and, as it turned out, not quite as undercover as he might have hoped. Hurd's arrest sent shockwaves through the NFL and beyond. Here was a player who had a decent career, a good salary, and the adoration of fans. Yet, he seemingly wanted more. A lot more. But in a field far removed from football. His goals in the criminal underworld were lofty, to say the least, and it was these very ambitions that led to his dramatic downfall. As the news broke, everyone who knew him from the gridiron was left scratching their heads, wondering how a player with so much to lose could take such a jaw-dropping detour into the world of crime. In 2013, Hurd, probably wishing he could call an audible of his life choices, pleaded guilty to trying to purchase and distribute large amounts of cocaine and marijuana. It was like the final whistle had blown on his life as he knew it. Sentencing in a federal case like this? It's no slap on the wrist. Hurd was sentenced to 15 years in prison. A sentence that was more of a life derailment than a timeout. The impact of Hurd's conviction rippled far beyond the courtroom. For the NFL, it was a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities and pressures professional athletes might face. Hurd's fall from grace became a cautionary tale. A once promising career overshadowed by a life-altering mistake. For fans, it was like watching the final episode of a beloved show, only to find out the ending is nothing like you expected. Disbelief, disappointment, and a sense of what could have been permeated discussions about Hurd. Here was a player who had the talent and opportunity to make a name for himself in one of the most competitive sports leagues in the world. Yet, his legacy would forever be marred by his foray into illegal activities. In the aftermath, Hurd's story became a talking point about the choices athletes make, the temptations they face, and the stark realities of life after sports. His conviction served as a grim reminder that fame and talent offered no immunity against poor decision-making. As Hurd began serving his sentence, his story remained a powerful narrative of a promising NFL career that ended not with accolades and achievements, but with regret and a long road to redemption. On February 23, 2023, Sam Hurd, the former NFL wide receiver whose career was overshadowed by legal troubles, was released from federal custody, turning a new page in his life. This release marked a significant transition for Hurd, who had been sentenced in 2013 to 15 years for his involvement in drug trafficking. His journey from the gridiron to a prison cell and back to society is a tale that's as cautionary as it's compelling. Now that he's on probation, Hurd is navigating a world that's changed significantly since his days catching passes on the football field. Probation is no walk in the park. It's a period laden with rules and regulations. He's likely required to check in regularly with the probation officer, adhere to specific conduct guidelines, and possibly engage in community service or other rehabilitative activities. This phase of his life is about readjustment, accountability, and hopefully redemption. For Hurd, this is a chance to rewrite his narrative, one day at a time. While the shadow of his past actions will undoubtedly linger, his release offers an opportunity to forge a new path. The road ahead for the former NFL player is one of rebuilding and redefining his life outside the confines of his criminal justice system. It's a journey that many will watch with interest as Hurd attempts to move beyond his past and reshape his future. That's the story of the time an NFL player attempted to become a criminal kingpin. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate you pausing to press the like button and subscribe. Here on FootballLore, we upload football documentaries frequently and would love to get your support. So, have a great day.